Welcome to Chicas and Chai.
So, in the spirit of breaking barriers and discussing topics that are taboo or that not everyone wants to talk about, today's episode is brought to you by the courtesy of our periods.
So fun times.
Yeah, not really, but you know, it is what it is. I think this is a huge topic to talk about. We're gonna try to keep it short and sweet, unlike our periods.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
If you know, you know, they suck. But they're also doing a lot of good things for our bodies, so we're thankful. I know this is a big one that we have always talked about, that you have always felt very strongly about.
I am such a period talker. Do you like how I label myself?
I love it. I love it. I do.
I am, because I think they suck. I think
You're a
they're
period person.
horrible. I am not the same person.
Everyone around you only gets like 1 week out of the month of the normal version.
No, seriously. I am emotional and hurting the week before, obviously the week of, and then afterwards I'm recovering.
Yeah.
There's only 1 week of the month where the lady you know beside you, your sister, your mom, is normal.
Your girlfriend, your wife, anybody.
I didn't grow up being able to talk about my period with anyone. The first time I got my period was in Mexico, and I was like, what the hell is this? I didn't know about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It must have been really hard and confusing and scary. How old were
traumatic. I was like 10 years old.
Oh, shoot.
And I had never heard about it by anyone. And it was very traumatic.
It's crazy because like you have sisters as well. That
you know, period is something we don't talk about. And I was at my oldest sister's house this weekend, and we talk about it now. But we both made a joke like, yep, we didn't talk about it back in the day. It's just something you don't talk about. And now we're starting to, but I don't think we're still there yet. Yeah, so I got it when I was really young. I had bad cramps to this day, horrible cramps. Like, it's miserable. So I just want to talk about it because it's something we should talk about.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. And again, another situation where we have a very different experience, right? Because I got my period when I was like 17 or 16 and a half. And I had to go through the thing where they stick needles in you.
Endoscopy?
No.
Dude,
no, puncher,
that is so different.
Someone had said these are the kind of ways that naturally you can bring about a period for a girl, because I was terrified because I wanted to have kids, and I thought growing up, if you don't get your period, you can't have kids.
You're like the second person I know that had to go through a process to get their period.
Okay, that's cool, because I feel like I don't know anyone. Cool. Yeah, because I don't know anyone.
That's crazy though. So you were worried, and so your parents took you.
I was so worried, and I talked to my mom about it. Like, my cousins and I used to talk about it. So I had people to talk to about it, but I had absolutely wrong information. People would tell me, oh, if you get your period, don't use tampons. You can lose your virginity. My cousin would tell me, oh, this cousin doesn't have her period because she's having sex. Oh, this cousin has her period.
What? Wait.
Yeah,
rewind. Your wasn't having her period because she was having sex.
Yes. What? Well, they all used to like talk shit about each other.
She's pregnant, but like, I mean,
she's like, oh, she's not getting her period because she's sexually active. And it's like, what? Yeah, seriously. Now I look back and I'm like, are you kidding me? What kind of, like, it's crazy. And you know, even unfortunately, my grandmother and my mom at the time, they didn't have accurate information to educate me, and the information that they did give me at the time I believed, and it was quite inaccurate. And that's because my grandmother's mother didn't have these conversations, and that time then my grandmother, she didn't pass down maybe the best information to my mother. Then my mother gave me whatever she knew, but it wasn't filtered proper information anymore.
Yeah, not at all. I was also told the same thing, like, you will lose your virginity if you wear a tampon. Sorry, I'm okay losing my virginity to a tampon if it means I'm not miserable every day at school. That shit was not fun.
Yeah, it was not.
But also, you don't lose your virginity.
Yeah, please don't lose your virginity to a tampon.
It doesn't. I'm not sure if it works like that.
I don't think it does. And I like that.
I don't think so either.
And I remember when I got my period, because I was so terrified that I wasn't going to get it. Then I finally got it, and I was like,
bless your soul, I'm so glad you got it.
I thought like it was gonna come like gushing out or something. All of a sudden, I'm just like wiping one day, and then there's just like brown shit on this napkin. And then I'm like, wait a second, this is not coming from the back.
Did you just say, I just thought I pooped because there was brown stuff coming out? Shit, it's not coming from the back.
That is, I call my mom, and my mom wasn't even home. And I was so excited
Yeah.
to get it. All my cousins, they had this little period club basically because they all would have their period except for me. And I would feel so left out because they would talk about their periods and their cramps, and I just couldn't relate. And I'd be like, let's go play Monopoly. The next day, I felt nothing really. And I was like, I have such bad cramps. My body hurts. Oh my God, my stomach hurts. And then, behold, the third day it did. And I hated it. And I wanted that period gone as fast as I wanted that period there.
That is so funny. That's so you, though. Making it a big dramatic scene. Like, you just
enter period.
Yes, that's you. I believe that. I started wearing tampons when I was in college. And a friend told me how. We were all at a beach retreat, and then I was like, I can't get in. And she's like, oh, why? You wear a tampon? And I'm like, I've never worn one. I don't think I should. And she was just like, it's okay, come on. And then she took me to the bathroom, and she literally stood outside the door, and she like walked me through the step. She's like, bend down, open your nose. And, you know, she helped me. So
I think you helped me afterward then. I didn't have a tampon ever until college either. I would always use pads. I was afraid to lose my virginity to a tampon.
I was too, but at that point I was like, I'm getting in this beach.
Yeah, and I'm so happy because I used to like not realize things. I would stay out of the pool.
Like, I cannot function, but I'm so sorry to disappoint you because there was a study that recently came out. They found lead in tampons. Actual evidence, apparently. A part of me is like, damn it, I wish I hadn't known that. If anyone is listening, like, please tell us, like, I know there's cups, I know there's different things you can use, but I'm so scared. It took us so long to use tampons. Like, I refuse to go back to pads 100%.
Yeah, I usually will use like tampons for the day, and then I just sleep in pads. Like if I'm working on 100%, yeah. But if I'm just at home, if I'm working from home, some days I'll just wear a pad. Not all day, like for a little bit, my body do its thing.
And that's the blessing of working from home.
Yeah.
It's definitely changed my life.
And like cravings, dude. Pregnancy cravings, they were strong. Period cravings, also very strong. My husband knows. He will come with chocolate cake or some kind of cupcake.
Oh my God, chocolate all the way.
Yes.
I need chocolate. I need
pizza, cheese.
Oh my God, pizza, cheese. I just want all the comfort food. If I want Indian food, I'm going to get Indian food. Like if you need it, I've never been pregnant.
I usually need Thai food.
So it's like, it's Thai food. I feel like if that is what pregnancy looks like, then
sign me up. Just like,
I didn't say that, but I kind of looked at you like that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, the cravings are crazy, and don't bother me when I'm on my period. I will be in a mood.
Yeah,
I tell my husband, like, I'm on my period. Like, I can't right now.
You really just feel good for 1 week. Like, and I feel really good this week. But I know, like, starting next week, all my symptoms are going to set in because my period is coming. And then I feel like crap for like, the next 3 weeks. And I tell my husband, I'm like, just don't mess with me. Don't give me an attitude.
Just stay out of my way. Stay out of my lane. And, it's not an excuse to be mean. Yeah. But it's definitely such a scientific excuse to know that that's gonna happen. Yeah. I'm gonna be so rude to you probably, and I'm gonna be cranky, and
I'll stop texting so much. Except for you, like, I get more worked up and I get so in my feelings. I get extra sensitive about everything.
I cry over everything.
So much. Me too. I start thinking about shit that happened to me when I was like 10 years old, and I will start crying about
That's childhood trauma. That's
a whole different episode.
No. That's a
whole different episode.
2 to 3 episodes
coming soon. Yeah, that's gonna be a mini series about our mental health. It's not okay, clearly. But I feel that way, and I tell my husband, and he understands. And I think in the beginning he didn't understand because he didn't have the closest relationship growing up with like his mom and his sister. He didn't really know what to expect.
And I'm sure they weren't walking around telling him like, I'm sorry, this is taboo.
That's a whole different thing. That talking about it, it's like you were saying, like your sister, like
we didn't even talk about it as girls. My mom didn't prep me for it, so it's like you can't expect for guys to be prepped. But like I hope, and I know like your husband is like so sweet. I'm sure you've been prepping him.
Yeah,
but it kind of sucks, right?
Like we have to do that work.
It kind of sucks that we have to do that.
Yeah,
like it really does, guys. I'm sorry. Like I know that you didn't grow up with it. Like my husband, he doesn't have sisters. Yeah. So
no, but it's crazy because even then your brothers grew up with 3 sisters and a mom. Like your family is predominantly female, and they still didn't get the same exposure.
They didn't until recently. Yeah. We'll talk about it. They don't know how to react, and I think they're all learning, right? Because I feel like I didn't feel comfortable talking about it until the last few years, where I'm like, no, I need to talk about this. And if we're not talking about it for ourselves, we got to talk about it for a future daughter, for my nieces, that this needs to be like, okay, no, this is real. Like She's in
It's a normal
pain.
thing. It's
She is cranky. I get so tired when I'm about to get my period.
like,
It's
why are we
insane.
so ashamed to talk about something that's naturally, physically happening to our body? Your period is just a natural process. We go
So
around telling people that we're sick, we're nauseated, we have a cold or a fever. So why is it so different when we get our period?
Yeah.
This is something that I've been thinking about a lot lately because I'm a boy mom now. I want to talk about these things, and because I want him to be well versed and aware and to be empathetic and compassionate
is a
about
big
it.
thing, you know, like just understanding that if whoever he dates or his sister, maybe one day,
He's not
if that
dating
happens,
anyone, but yeah, his sister.
when whenever he dates.
No, he
You
will
don't know.
never.
He goes
But
to
sure.
little school. I saw that picture. Yeah. So we want to make sure that we open up these conversations to like,
absolutely.
you
No,
know,
I agree.
have
And you
them
know, someone that we're really close with, and they're from India. I love that every time his wife didn't join in one of our events, and we're like, oh, what happened? And he goes, oh, she's not feeling well. And we're like, oh, is she okay? And he didn't just say, oh, she's sick or something. He goes, she started her period, and this is just her second day, so she's not up to hang out with anyone. And I was like, go ahead.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. It's okay.
Everyone really got comfortable, like uptight about it. Even people that are American, like even my own husband,
That always happens.
It was like, oh, you know. And I get uptight even talking about it. I wouldn't tell my older brother I'm on my period. My little brother, I grew up telling him all the time because we used to like rough play, we'd push each other, like, yo, not this week. Like, don't be wrestling me this week because I'm on my period. And so he'd always understand. My little brother and I are like very clear on this whole like period talk, but if I was on my period and I was at my brother's house, I would like wrap up the bag, hide it, close it, like make sure no one's seeing these ads, like I'm committing a crime.
My oldest sister, one time, I was at her house a couple of years ago and I was doing the exact thing. I was like, man, I don't have a trash bag. Like, what do I do? She's like, Luz, it's okay. Just throw it in the trash. You don't have to hide it. And I was like, wow, like, it's so nice. And
like,
you know,
liberating.
And it's the same sister. We didn't talk about it when we were younger, but I think we both know without talking about it that we need to continue talking about it. And it needs to be something open because,
again, it's like a generational thing, right? It happens. Like, you guys grew up in the same households. And I feel like maybe a lot of it's just like our moms don't know how to talk to us about it, or dads, or whoever's raising you.
I mean, they grew up with it being taboo for them. So yeah.
That's why they don't really know how to touch on it. It's an awkward thing. It's like safe sex. No one wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
But we will.
We will.
Coming soon.
Well, I'm glad we talked about this, and I think it'll come up every now and then again, but I think it's a really important topic, and I hope that anyone that is listening knows that, you know, let's start just feeling comfortable with it. It's like awkward to talk about it sometimes, but I actually had a really weird conversation with my manager, and I told him, hey, I know we're supposed to go in once a week, but I have really heavy periods, and I felt so proud of myself.
Was it a guy or a girl?
This guy.
Oh my God, I'm so proud of you.
I was so proud. I just had to advocate for myself because I was really nervous about going in once a week now. The first thing I thought of was when I'm miserable on my period. And then I immediately was like, you know, this is a really uncomfortable topic. I kind of apologized, but didn't apologize. And he was really sweet. He's like, don't worry. I live with 3 girls. Like, I get it.
I love
and
that.
I was like, thank you for, you know, understanding.
See, that's what I aspire to, like, for my son to be, because it's so hard to talk about these things and feel these things, and you're just miserable and you just don't feel the best. I used to think being on your periods is the worst thing. Dude, being a mom and like being on your period is terrible because you have to function.
Even.
Like, how probably for you with like Osito when you're on your period, like with your dog.
I'm like, Osito, I'm like, Bijan, you gotta walk Osito. Like, you're taking over, because walking, you don't want to do anything when you're on your period. And so walking in the heat, walking in the cold, you're just like, But like, I can't imagine, like,
he wants to be carried and have to like continue to like be a parent.
That's a different story, because Osito's really good at napping on his own. He goes, you know, he's really good he's a very independent little boy. So it's not like he's clinging on to me like your baby. So it's different. But yeah, anyway, this was a good conversation.
And this is all we have for you. Period.
That was so funny. I love that.